Hello everyone, welcome to a double unboxing video of the Gemini Jets January 2023 releases here. Got two models from this release. You might be able to guess what they are. Well, I mean, if you saw the thumbnail then you would know, I guess. But yeah, two releases from the January release I purchased here. Both these from TG Pilot. Very excited to get these two unboxed. They should be some beautiful planes. First of which is the Sun Country 737-800 by Gemini Jets. Really cool that they released this one. This is the first Sun Country model that Gemini has released in a long time. The last one was like, I want to say 2008 or 2013 is also floating in there. I don't know why. But it was in the old livery with blended winglets. But it's been long overdue for them to make a new Sun Country plane. So I'm glad that they did with the Tide Pod livery and the 40 years of flight sticker there. This also has the Scimitar winglet, which is unfortunate. I would rather them have made the blended winglet version over the split Scimitar one, because I actually have this exact same model already. Well, not the exact same one. There's a little bit of a difference, but the exact same aircraft. Number 842 Sierra Yankee. As Panda Models made that one, a Waffle Collectibles exclusive. So, you know, we're definitely going to do a comparison of the two. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, standard Gemini Jet box. We have the model inside there. Here's the information, but I'm showing it sideways, so I don't know if you can read that very well, but there it is. And then the aircraft here, the back, and all that good stuff. Nothing unusual about it, except that it's a Sun Country Airlines aircraft. That's surprising because Joe hasn't done one in a while. But we'll get this guy out here. There was a little bit of an issue with the plastic there. So it's a little bit hard to take out of the plastic cradle because some of it got dented or something, but nothing too severe. The model's just fine. It just makes it a little bit harder to take out of the plastic, but we'll get it out here. And here we go. I'll shove that all the packaging off to the side. And here's the Sun Country Airlines 737-800 in the 40 years of flight livery. So, really looking cool here. We'll get it started up here. We have the cockpit windows, the nose gear down there, L1 boarding door with the Sun Country billboard titles, of course, as we see here on the Tide Pod livery. We have the blue engine and the split Scimitar. Of course, this is the first Sun Country model that has been made with the 40 years of flight sticker on it, which is something that Sun Country has been doing new. It started up like, I want to say spring of last year, or summer maybe. They started applying these to their aircraft, and now they're on almost all of them. So that's pretty cool there. This is the first model that's been made with that. I would have expected NG to make it, to be honest, but I'm happy that somebody made it at least. Probably would have preferred an NG model, and we'll get back to why in a little bit. But I still think that looks pretty good. It looks pretty good on there. One thing that is, you can see it on the camera, the color difference between that orange and this orange is very different. I believe on the actual aircraft it is the same color, and the sticker is much more vibrant than that orange. So I don't know what was up with that. I mean, it kind of looks a little bit weird, honestly. So I don't know what Gemini was doing with that one, but I digress. Move on here. I have the overwing exit and exit paths down the wing, and of course the applicable details on the wings. They look pretty good in terms of the details on the wings. So we'll get back to the wings later. I'm saving that till the end. The registration here, number 842 Sierra Yankee, as I previously said. Boeing 737-800, we have the American flag, and then here's the Sun Country tail, of course. It also has the topograph lines, which I really like on this livery. So, yeah. No, it's Sun Country Tide Pod release. Had to get it because, well, I do MSP airports, so what else am I going to do? Yeah. So nothing much more to say about it. Well, nothing much more to say about in terms of the design, but we do have to talk more about the mold. Here's the bottom of the aircraft, which honestly looks a little bit weird. in terms of this, I don't think that comes to, unless they repainted it. I don't remember the curve ever being that, like, round. I don't know how best to describe it. We'll compare it with the Panda Model 1 later, or one just a little bit. But first we have to, the wings, why, Gemini? It's bad, it's bad, I'm sorry, but I don't like it. So I would say this is probably worse than the Avello, even. I was nervous when the photos came out, when Gemini released the photos of the model. I was worried about exactly this, and I feel like I got the model that they showed off in those photos, because yeah, that's a lot of wing flex on this guy. I mean, I don't have anything to, like, I don't have a ruler or anything. I could maybe use my pen. Not that you can really see it best from this angle, but the edge of the wing, not including the winglet, is basically level with the top of the fuselage, like from here to here, basically level. That's not how it works. I'm sorry, but that's not how it works. Yeah, that's disappointing with this model, but you know, it's a Sun Country release, so had to get it. In terms of the livery, I think that's all fine. I still think Panda did a better job with it, and especially in terms of the wings and winglet and everything, I think they did a lot better. I'm going to bring in the Panda one here. You can already tell that the color, look at the color difference on these two, that's crazy. I mean, the color with the 40 years of flight, that matches. So Gemini had it right with this, but they just couldn't get the rest of it to be the same color. I guess the Panda one sits quite a bit higher, actually. That's kind of surprising. I don't know if it's just the angle that these are on the, I guess, yeah, the Panda one is definitely a lot higher than the Gemini one. I don't know which one would be more realistic. I'm inclined to say that the Panda mold is more realistic, because Panda just makes really cool, really amazing aircraft. They do a good job. And then in terms of the bottom, you can see this one's a lot less round. If I can somehow, like, get these two here. I'm working with one hand here. But you can kind of see it there. This one is a lot sharper, I guess. So yeah, that's a little bit interesting there, but the color is a lot more vibrant on the Panda models version, on the Gemini version, so that's too bad. That I would have to say the Panda one's a little bit better than the Gemini one, but like I said, if it's Sun Country, if someone releases a Sun Country, I've got to pounce all over it. I'm not going to get the NG one, the old 737-700 that NG made, though, because I have the Panda models one already, and that one they don't even fly anymore, so yeah, somehow Gemini and NG both made a plane that Panda models had released earlier, about a year ago. So that's kind of interesting. The NG one and the Panda one weren't the exact same plane in terms of the registration, but they were same aircraft, same livery. So yeah, that's all I have to say about these guys. It'll be a good model to have, though. So I'm not gonna complain overly much about it. It's just, please, Gemini, fix the wings. Fix the wings, please. Next model that we have here, this one I'm really excited about, is the World Atlantic Airlines McDonnell Douglas MD-83. So this is a really cool airline. I would never expected a model made from this airline. It's based in Miami. They do a lot of flights to, like, Havana, Cuba, and in the Caribbean region. But yeah, they are based in Miami, Florida, and it is a U.S. registered aircraft. But yeah, I actually saw one of these. These used to fly, I don't think they fly anymore, but they used to fly to Tampa. And I did see one there back in 2020. It was one of my first videos on the channel. It was going back, one of my old plane spotting videos. So I saw this aircraft in Tampa, and that was pretty cool to see it. Yeah, they used to operate services from Havana to Tampa. And man, that was really cool to see this one up close at Cypress Point Park. So if you want to go all the way back in the channel, it was one of my first videos, was this guy. So that's kind of a fun story. We'll get this one unboxed here, though, just the same standard Gemini cut box. Nothing too crazy to go over with this one. This is my first Gemini MD-80, my first Gemini Mad Dog in years, ever since the Allegiant, like, 2014 release. So it's been a long time since I've gotten one. This is only my third Mad Dog. My other one is the American by Dragon Wings that I recently got. Maybe not recently, like maybe 5 or 6 months ago, something like that. But we'll bring this guy centered on the screen. Here we go. Here she is. That is a absolutely gorgeous aircraft right here. Gemini absolutely nailed this one. I am so glad that I picked this one up. I didn't pre-order this one. I just got it in the store when I was working there last Saturday. And man, I'm so glad I got this one because this looks absolutely amazing. So we have our cockpit windows with, it's like a little eye shade here, like the raccoon thing, but it also is, they added some design into it, so it like points out here. That's a little bit interesting. I've never seen that before with another airline, so that was something that I noticed when Gemini released their photos of the aircraft, and I was like, that's pretty interesting. Nice design there, World Atlantic. So it's an interesting design. I don't know how much I feel about it, but I guess they're differentiating themselves from the competition. So you got to appreciate that. Something adding a little bit of flair to theirs. Yeah, we have the nose gear down here. This does not roll. I don't know if it's supposed to roll. There's only one landing gear on this aircraft that rolls, so it doesn't roll super well. But I don't really need rolling landing gear. It's like, if you're gonna put it on there, then you might as well do it correctly. So that's why I'm impressed with NG's and Panda's gear that roll pretty well. And Gemini attempts to do it, and they don't really execute it very well. And I'd be okay, honestly, if it just didn't roll, because that's what they used to do. And back then we also had a lot less models that came broken. But, moving on, we have the L1 boarding door here, the World Atlantic Airlines logo, and then the World Atlantic Airlines titles up here. It's an interesting font. It doesn't say Airlines either. I don't know why I said that. It just says World Atlantic. Yeah, pretty much nothing here. It's a pretty blank aircraft, as you'd expect, since this is a mostly charter airline. I mean, Global X, they're a charter airline, but they really spice their aircraft up. This is kind of reminds me of a little bit of iAero, because I believe most of their planes is just blank with a little, like they make the tail blue and stuff. But yeah, it's not like a super fancy airline. They're not going to go all out with the paint scheme. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Yeah, the overwing exits here. I kind of like the Mad Dog exits where it has the 2 doors with one in the middle. I think that's kind of unique. It's also on the 717, I believe. So I've always kind of liked that. It's just a little bit different than the rest of the aircraft. And we have the exit paths down here. And the wings, which are looking really cool on this one. They did a good job with adding detail to the wings. So Gemini did a good job with that. Then we have our little rear door here, which is only on this side of the MD-83 at least. I don't believe that's on all the Mad Dogs, but I'm not quite sure. I think it's only on the MD-83 and up, but I'm also not quite sure, so don't quote me on that. We also have the registration here, November 808 Whiskey Alpha. Then here is the tail, which is blue with the World Atlantic Airlines logo on it, just embiggened. So yeah, that's about it for this model here. So pretty simple livery, but wow, it's a really nice mold. Gemini knocked it out of the park. I really like their Mad Dog mold. I wish I had more of them, honestly, because this looks really nice. I believe World Atlantic is the last airline in the U.S. that still operates the Mad Dogs. Not that they're, like, I don't think they're going to be retiring them anytime soon. So that's pretty cool. If you want to get a chance to fly on a Mad Dog, then go to World Atlantic, but also good luck, because they're pretty niche, only really operate in, I don't really know where they operate anymore. I think it's just really consolidated into the Miami region, because they don't fly to Tampa anymore, which is too bad. And I think it's really just Miami and Cuba. So If you get the chance, I recommend World Atlantic because they're a cool airline, but there's also Global X that operates a lot of those flights, and you have options that aren't World Atlantic, but they're pretty cool. And especially if you want to fly an old Mad Dog like this one. Also, on the other side we have the 3 luggage doors, which is pretty interesting, pretty unique to the Mad Dogs. I guess it's also on the CRJ 900, but yeah, just a really nice livery here. They also have an antenna, which is not on my Allegiant from 2014, I believe. So yeah, really nice model here. Gemini did a great job on this one, looking absolutely stunning. I want to use this in a fictional airport at some point, so I expect this to pop up in a fictional airport update, just because it's such a cool mold, such a cool aircraft. And I also have a personal collection that I saw one of these in person, so had to get it, and I'm super glad that I did. So highly recommend if you pick this up if you're interested, because it does look really nice. We got one aircraft that did not have a great mold, and then one that has a superb mold. So it's a pretty good release set though by Gemini Jets all around, I'd say. Even though I'm a bit disappointed that Gemini decided to release 842 Sierra Yankee, and they could have just released one that had the blended winglets, which Sun Country has way more of. They only have 3 aircraft with split scimitars, and only 2 of them are in the new livery. But I suppose that's not something I should complain too much about. But yeah, that'll do it for this unboxing. Sorry for kind of dragging it on a little bit long there in the end, but yeah, that'll do it for this video. Thank you for checking it out, and I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.